Hello everyone, it's Haysie. I know it's a long time no see. I promised you guys at the end of October that I would do a Extreme Ultimate Decade Challenge 1310 recap. And unfortunately, I do not like making recap videos. I can't find a system that works for me. And it feels like homework and it stresses me out. And then new packs came out, mods needed to be updated. And then holidays happened, as well as like I work in bridal. So we were really busy because everybody gets married in the fall, that I was just like, I walked past my computer every day. I was like, I will get to it. I will get to it. I miss playing Sims though. And I miss you guys. So you guys know how I talk around in circles. And I was like, you know what? They'll know the lore of each character because I'll give it to them as I'm playing. So I'm not going to make recap videos. I am so sorry. I hope it doesn't let anyone down. But I feel like I give enough of a summary of what happened when we're doing events while I'm playing, that I just don't feel the need to give a recap. And I hope anyone who is interested in what happened in the prior years just goes back and watches it, because it is a really fun time. And I always tried to be a big storyteller. So without further ado, let's get into my 100th YouTube videos. This is my 100th YouTube video. Oh my goodness. I also didn't think I'd be playing the same challenge like going into another year. So it's so exciting because I've only ever played, I think the longest I've ever played a save file is like 8 months. So this is super exciting for me and I can't wait to get into the year 1321, I think we're on. So without further ado, let's get into the Extreme Ultimate Decades. So I'm going to say previously on Extreme Ultimate Decades from years 1310 to 1320. Previously on Extreme Ultimate Decade Challenge, Haysie Simmer's version, from years 1310 to 1320. We learned that Tamara and Calvin are soulmates. Francis starts to dream of adventure, and Calvin talks to Euphema about his soulmate bond with Tamara. Oh, and Davos passes away. That's the little baby that Halia and Jacob had. Tamara asks the Duke to help her find her kids, and Jedediah and Calvin makes a bargain for true love. And in the year 1312, we have a deal where the prince at the time, Prince James, made a deal with these witches who we find out later on served a vampire coven. So he sacrificed one of his daughters to the coven, not in a bad way, but like he donated her to grow up with the coven. So technically a bad way, but not as dark as it could have been. In the year 1313, we made the plague come. And the way I did the plague, it was a vampiric plague where they came and took over the kingdom for a little bit. We had a glitch where Frederick aged up early. So I just kind of took that as like it was a magical omen. And we played that into the story. In the year 1313, the Vampire Coven completely takes over, turning 13 members of the kingdom into vampires to build a coven. And there's also a witch coven there, a dark witch coven, where they serve this dark goddess. I believe I named Naru. My daughter was watching Naruto at the time, so I used the name Naru because it was easy to remember. Connor gets turned into a vampire, tells his family about the dark magic, the vampire plan, and Amy, who was Pascal's wife, Pascal is Halia's brother, Amy kills Pascal due to her being a Ripper vampire. Princess Josephine in the year 1315 gets pregnant with twin girls again and almost loses them to Adriel while she is pregnant with the magical baby. Adriel is one of the witches from the coven. She's not with us anymore. She passed away. But Adriel has a bastard child with the Prince James, who is still alive, and we might use that for royal plot in the future, but I haven't decided. And then Jacob talks to Frederick about marriage. We did a daily tax for the food famine. Gemma, oh yeah, in 1315, this was so sad. I had such big plans for Gemma. Gemma is poisoned by Jedediah, and she dies. And Calvin finds the family, unfortunately, right there as that is happening, and he brings the kids back to Tamara. Frederick gets betrothed to his first wife, Mary Williams, who is a very sickly girl. And it's a marriage of convenience. Like, they like each other enough to understand, like, they could have been worse off, but they're not in love. Calvin comes back with the merrymen and the children, and Jacob offs Jedediah as he has to deliver justice to the family because of all the horrible things his brother's done. And then the kingdom is being ran by vampires that essentially, like, everyone had to take the law into their own hands. So Jacob, being the head of the household, had to eliminate his brother Jedediah. Frederick marries Mary, and Mary got pregnant on the night of their consummation. We check in on the queen who ran away, and we checked in on Tiara as well. Tiara was doing great, and the queen ran away to the countryside with the heirs that we're about to play with now in the year 1320. We checked in on we played around with the dark witches. We met the elves in 1317. Francis is one of the brothers. He got married. His wife actually died in childbirth. And we started realizing, like, we have to marry off all these cousins and then try for babies. So that was like a fun little thing to play around with because we've only played with one household. I mean, we played with the siblings, but we've never had to, like, manage this many marriages. So I played around with that for a little bit. So the Dark Goddess attacks in 1317, and we bring back Vlad's true love as well. We did the famine death roll, and we did a vampire hunt. So in the year 1317, all that came to a conclusion. So if you want to go back and watch that, you can kind of see how that ended up. But basically, we cured Vladimir of his vampirism. We got rid of the evil vampires. They didn't successfully do the ritual to bring in the Dark Goddess. So her evil magic, you know, kind of is being cleansed of the land, but there is a long-term damage. Abigail passes away. I don't even know who Abigail is. Mary passes. Oh, so Mary is Frederick's first wife. She passes away in childbirth due to typhoid fever. They lose their second child, I believe, as well. I don't know if that child's still alive. Francis finds Jenna Brewer is his soulmate. Francis gets married for a second time because, like I said, his wife died in childbirth. Tiara Gothic got her magic back in the year 1320. Frederick proposed to Tiara because they are soulmates, as we know. Like, they met when they were children in the 1300s, so they're soulmates. So they officially proposed. I don't think they've gotten married yet, so we can get them married in this episode. And Tiara got her magic back. She lost her magic whenever the vampires were, like, attacking and stuff like that, and I did a whole story about that. Lancelot asked for Naomi's hand in marriage. So that's kind of where we are with our family. I'm going to look at the family chart and see if I have any news there. So Jacob and Halia, who's passed away. Jacob and Halia have Frederick as a surviving son, Francis as a surviving son, Gwendolyn as a surviving daughter, Arthur as a surviving son, and Alexander. Alexander might have passed away. I have a feeling Alexander passed away. I think we just have Arthur, but we will check that in game. Frederick got married to Mary and with his first wife. Oh yeah, so they did have two children. They had Anne and Isolde. I believe they're both still living. And then we're working on getting the rest of the family married. Francis had the funniest story. He fell in love with, like, this girl who had a child already. So we named the child Jack Sparrow because his name was already Jax. So his name is Jax Sparrow. He is the son of a pirate. So we just kind of made it where, like, Francis has this son, and his wife passed away in childbirth, but she had triplets and they did all survive. So we have Joshua, Catriona, Theodore. He marries Jenna Brewer. They try for one kid, and her name is Ember. Did she pass away? No, okay. I'm not sure if Ember survived or not. I'm going to have to double check that one as well because that happened, like, in the last episode or so. But Francis was only supposed to try for one child, and I was like, oh, well, it made sense because he tried for one child, they got triplets, and then his wife passed away when she gave birth. So I'm like, oh, maybe this is why he never has another kid. And I was like, oh my gosh, he has to. I think he was a soulmate with Jenna, if I'm not mistaken. And so with his second wife, I'm like, well, maybe they get to try for one kid. She tries for one kid. I believe they did lose the child during childbirth, and we said that made her infertile. So I'm almost certain that Ember does not exist, but we will go and check. My extreme rules, I think we're going to ignore them for one episode. They're my personal rules, so it's fine. And we still have some cousins to get married. Lancelot is currently engaged, so I'm going to make him, I think we're going to make him green if he's like ready to get married and engaged. So we have a lot of cousins. I'm pretty sure we decided Ashton is going to, because he gets 8 tries for babies, so he needs to. He's going to probably get engaged to another, it was one of the goth girls as well. So he has somebody, but they're not engaged. Francis is married, so we can turn his red. And Christine and Morgan are our females, and I'm going to get them partners when we do the ball. So that is the best summary I can give you guys. I want to get into gameplay. Let's go. So I haven't properly updated all my mods, so I'm hoping that the game will load and let us get like half an episode made. I have to figure out what mods are still not updated and get that done before we get into some really big gameplay. So if you see any weird stuff, that would be why. I'm also really excited because my husband got me a brand new graphics card and he said it's like one of the very best ones. So I did up my settings to ultra, so I can't wait to see what that's going to look like in game. It looks like it is Saturday at 7:55 in the year 1320. So the next day will be the first day of 1321, and we will, this is Isolde. It says she's at daycare. Clearly she's not. This is baby Anne. I think Anne is older than Isolde, but not too sure. I'm going to have to go back and check. All right, so Frederick is still mourning the loss of someone in his family. Pretty not surprising. A lot of people have died. Okay, so I'm just going to have him be dad and tuck in the girls, and we're going to plan our wedding for tomorrow morning. So it's so good to look at the chicken running in the house, and there's a duck in the house. Oh, Halia would have loved that. So I do not have, oh, Frederick does not want to have any more children right now. Let's let fate decide. Okay, so what did he change to? I'd rather let fate decide. Would he? Okay, so he still would like to have a child. I think with him being, you know, with Tiara, they would probably want their own family. So I'm going to have him put the kids to bed. I'm pretty sure Anne was their first child. And then I'm going to have him cry it out. Looks like all their animals are in the house, so that'll be fun. Oh, Jacob is over there. We have a few people who are not in uniform. Going to happen quite a bit. So I don't have life and death installed, but I was thinking it might be really fun to later on use that to bring someone back, or maybe have them be reincarnated. Like Jacob is our heir, so maybe we should just have him, like, not our heir. Jacob is our prime legacy, so maybe we should have the prime legacy like reincarnate every couple of years. So let me know what you guys think about that. Because if Frederick and Tiara have a son, their son would be the next heir. They have to have a son because of the generation that they're in. Okay, so you should be able to hear the game audio now. So that will be good. Glad we're getting everything fixed. Okay, so he's getting his other kid. While he's getting his other kid to tuck into bed. Yeah, I was thinking it might be really good to have Jacob like reincarnate. I'm only giving that power to Jacob if he like completes all his milestones and stuff. So I can buy life after death. I just haven't really wanted to like explore the gameplay intensely right now. That I just haven't made it a priority. But if you guys like that idea, which I really do, Jacob still has some years left. I think we have 13 years left with Jacob. We can make him fulfill his like soul's mission or whatever and have him reincarnate. But I don't know if he could be the next heir. Like that'll get a little hiccupy because I'm not sure how he could be the next heir if Frederick and Tiara have a child soon, like 13 years from now. I don't know. It might just be fun to have his soul constantly. I don't know. Now I'm seeing plot holes in it, so it might not work, but it was an idea that I had. I definitely want to play around with it, but I'm also in no hurry to play around with it. Let's get this horse. Like, what is wrong? Frederick is tired. His child is crying. Go to bed. Go to sleep. If it's the horse, go to sleep. Yeah, so he's tired. His kid is crying. They lost someone. I don't even know who they lost. He's a blacksmith and a farmer, and he just got engaged. Like, there's a lot going on, horse. Come out here and entertain yourself. All right, so maybe we can get the horse in here and lock the gate. Oh, he's devastated. Difficult feels it. Oh, he's upset, I think, because of the child that they had whenever he lost his wife. I think it's hard for him to bond with that child, which we know Tamara also experienced that. And we just had to like work through those feelings. And she eventually became a very doting and caring mother. There we go. Just let your feelings out. I am a dark storyteller. I'm a dark storyteller. You're going to be experiencing a lot more death. Oh, he must be like, oh, I gotta, oh, it's his mom. He's, oh, I love that we have Halia's ghost. I cannot even tell you. Like, if I could resurrect anyone, it'd be my sim self, which is Halia. I think I told you guys that. Oh, he's going to mourn his mom. Oh, he wishes he had his mom with him. Maybe that's who he's upset about. Oh, that's Gemma's ghost. They were having a good conversation. Oh, he's honoring his mom. He's like, hey, mom. How's it been? Oh, it's so good to be back. Oh, he's singing to his mom. She's going to be like, good job, honey. Yeah! She loves it. She loves her son. She is like a #1 stan. But, oh, there's the horse. Can't be left out. Life here on the farm. We got our ghost mom and our needy horse, which is okay. I'm so excited to be back playing. So I'm setting the wedding event now. This is Tiara Gothic. If you guys don't remember, she is a child of Mortimer Gothic and Bella Gothic. She also has the Merlin magic line, if you guys have any remembrance of that. But we are going to make her a wedding dress real fast. I don't really know. She is from the royal adjacent family. She does have royal blood, and she was raised as a lady. And then she was also raised in hiding. So I feel like she would dress very elegant. That's just kind of her lifestyle. Effortlessly gorgeous, essentially. This is a really pretty dress. But I also need to save it for like if we get princesses married. And Christine might marry a prince. So I need to save it if we're having certain characters get married. So maybe something more simple like this. Yeah, I think this might have been her mother's wedding dress. That is more the vibe because her mother wears this dress. So I'd like to say that she's using her mother's wedding dress. Yes, I know they wouldn't have worn a white dress. They would have worn like a family member's dress. Maybe we will give her her mother's dress. I do just like the idea of we start the white tradition now and everybody has like a white wedding dress we pass down. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I want white, so I'm going to do white. All right, and then I'll just change a few other things. I don't know if I should bring the shroud back because I used it for the witch coven, but I also just kind of wanted to have them start covering their hair when they got married because it's more historically accurate. Not that mine's 100% fantasy, guys, 100%. But I think this is a little too on the nose. Maybe if like the royals start wearing them, we can bring them in. Ooh, these earrings. Yes, this is their family earring. I love that. That is classy. That is literally perfect. Okay, so I'm thinking there's an eye glitch because Frederick also has these eyes, and I'm pretty sure Frederick's eyes are dark green. So we're just going to ignore that while I set his wedding outfit. So I'm going to be a little crazy and say we have a 7 a.m. wedding because I would just like to get the wedding done and over with in the nicest way possible and have our new start to the new decade go as fast as possible. It's a new year. It's 2025 in real life today, as well as in The Sims. It's 13/21. So I would just like to get things going. Frederick is starting his last day as a single daddy. He is about to marry the true love of his life. He's still very sad. I think he's just thinking about everyone he wishes who could be here and just kind of reflecting on that. Who is haunting us? Oh, there's our mom. Yeah, I think maybe he just seeing his mother's spirit has him just kind of feeling very nostalgic, wishing she was still here physically. The good news is Halia will always be here for their family now that she's a ghost, as long as we keep her properly mourned. And the kiddos now have food whenever they're ready. And we have a surprise. We had a little chicken hatch. So we get to celebrate that new life here on the farm, on Alder Farm in Alder Village. now that we also have like a little blacksmith station going. We have a chapel, and we have the herbalist store. Ooh, so many eggs. That's good. Here we go. Oh, good job. Thank you, Halia, for helping with the chores. Look at our ducks. Our ducks are doing really good. Here we go. New life on Alder Farm. So exciting. Sweet love. New life. Okay, it's wedding time. People are starting to show up. I'm not going to start any event until I know everyone is here. Oh, number one, I'm so happy for that new graphics card. I'm playing on Ultra. My computer just looks so nice. And look at oh, you know what? Okay, so everyone's almost here. Once I know they're here, we're going to get started. And to celebrate us starting a new decade of love and life in The Sims and in real life, we are going to have our first heir, Frederick, marry his one true love. It is his second marriage, so we get to witness him really understand what he will be committing to, that growth he had, because he's no longer like a young boy, a young man getting married. He's a little bit more experienced in life. Oh my goodness, here we go. What a way to start the new year. I'm so excited. This is the best 100 episode. Obviously, it's a Sims wedding, so they're going to be all walking around. Okay, Tiara and Frederick are getting married. Our second pair of soulmates for our heirs. I would love all my heirs to marry their soulmate.
Trip.
Chunky adipose, soy bread, nourish. Sparsa.
With a sea lima.